there, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Allison and today's video is the first video of my new watercolor series, which is answering your frequently asked questions about watercolor. So today's question is, are watercolors toxic? The answer is yes, watercolor paints are toxic, but they're not toxic enough to make you severely sick. So if you accidentally drink from your watercolor jar, you won't die, don't worry, and you probably most likely will not get sick. There are watercolor paints that are not toxic, and these paints are usually craft grade or for children. Professional grade paints and artist grade paints are toxic because there are usually chemicals in the paint to help with light fastness. And if you're not familiar with light fastness, it's how resistant your watercolor paint is to fading when exposed to light. The watercolor paints that are the most toxic are usually the cadmiums, like cadmium yellow and cadmium red, and titanium white. Now, there are some rules when it comes to watercolors and trying to be safe with watercolors, and I'm just going to say the first one, which is really obvious, and that is don't eat your watercolor paints. Also, don't use any of your kitchen items as watercolor painting tools like jars. You only want to make sure that your watercolor tools are only designated for watercolor painting. And keep your pets in mind. You don't want to leave out your dirty watercolor paint jar and then your cat drinks from it. Your pets won't die from drinking out of your watercolor paint jar. They won't die. They probably most likely won't get sick. Now if your dog finds your watercolor paints and like eats them, that could be an issue. So it's good to put away your watercolor paints when you're done with them so that your dog doesn't find them. And just keep your pets in mind. And you can also check the toxicity of the paints you buy. There are some watercolor paints that are usually not that toxic at all, but then there are some that are, like I said earlier, the cadmiums and titanium white. And you can check how toxic your paints are. Sometimes you'll find information by going to the website of the paint brand, or I know that dickblick.com, which is the Blick art supply store online, usually next to the paint it'll have a yellow triangle, and that means that the paint is hazardous. So that's a good way to see if the color you want to buy or the color that you have is toxic or not. But in the end, don't let this like deter you from using watercolors. The toxicity level of watercolors is very minimal. They won't hurt you, they won't irritate your skin. I mean, if you like squeeze a tube of like a whole tube of watercolor on your skin and like rub it in, then yeah, maybe you would have some kind of reaction, of course. Like why would you do that? But yeah, I wouldn't worry about how toxic watercolors are. Watercolors are very safe. They're safe. I wouldn't worry about it. Don't stress out about it. Just follow those rules that I listed, like keep in mind your pets, don't eat your paints, and don't use your kitchen items for watercolor painting. You would have to accidentally consume a lot of watercolor paint to get sick. I hope this answered your question. Thank you so much for watching this video. Feel free to subscribe to my channel for more art related videos like watercolor tutorials and weekly artist vlogs. If you'd like to check out more frequently asked questions about watercolor, I'll link that playlist right here, and you can check out another video that you might like right here. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.